Welcome to Jencap's educational mini-series, Garage Gurus. In this episode, our specialized garage brokers are going to answer all of your burning questions. We solicited questions directly from you, our retail agency partners. We are here to provide you with the clarity that you're looking for. So let's tap into the expertise of our team and get started. First question that one of our agents submitted, and whoever wants to answer it can here, Tracy and Rick. With garage keepers coverage, agents want to better understand the difference between legal liability versus direct primary.
Garage keepers legal liability is coverage for the comp and collision or specified causes of loss and collision on the vehicles and the insured's care, custody, and control. The legal liability is going to cover only claims that the insured is legally liable for. So, for instance, if they damage the vehicle, dropping a tool on it, or if they bump it into the side of their garage, or forget to put the brake on, whatever, if they damage it in any way as far as body work goes, then they're legally liable for that. And that's what the legal liability coverage would be there for. However, it wouldn't cover acts of God, such as wind and hail or storms, or something that happens even so much as a theft loss. If the insured is not legally liable for that theft loss, that wouldn't be covered. So direct primary is a more comprehensive coverage, more complete coverage. It would pick up some of those extra exposures, such as the wind and hail or theft, even if the insured is not legally liable. It's going to cost more because it is more coverage, and you do need to keep in mind that it depends on the area that the risk is located in and how the lot is secured for us to know whether or not we can actually offer direct primary coverage. But it is more coverage, and if we can offer it, we certainly will find a solution for you.
Another question that we got in was non-owned liability. There seems to be a lot of confusion around this coverage and when it's needed. So, Rick, talk to us about non-owned liability.
Really, non-owned liability is there when you take care, custody, and control of someone's vehicle, and you're test driving it. So you have a mechanic that gets done servicing someone's brakes, maybe putting new rotors on, calipers, whatever the case might be, and he's going to take it around the block, a couple miles, just to make sure everything's running smoothly, and that their customer is going to be happy when they take it off the lot. So really, this exposure helps cover them if they were to get into a fender bender and damage somebody else's vehicle. It really helps to cover that gap between it's really the auto liability portion of the garage policy. That's what we've been touting is a real benefit of placing a risk with the garage liability market versus, say, a GL policy.
We've touched on the difference between garage keepers legal liability and dealers open lot in our first episode, but agents still have questions. So talk to us about this coverage in a little more detail, if you will.
Dealers open lot coverage is the physical damage coverage for the cars held for sale on a car lot. And they are typically your owned automobiles that insured owns the vehicles held for sale. Occasionally, you might have some consignment autos on the lot, but typically it's your exposure for the physical damage on those vehicles that you hold for sale on your lot. And it's important to know how to cover those and the amount of coverage to have on those types of vehicles. So, Rick, if you would cover some of the nuances for determining your lot limits and what you need for your dealer's physical damage coverage.
Sure. Thank you, Tracy. We're really looking at inventory, right? That's what we're talking about. So you go buy a used car dealer, and they might have 20 cars on the lot. And what we're looking for generally is the max number of units on a lot, the average number that they hold, and then the average and the max value that they hold, and really look to insure these for wholesale value. Not necessarily what they would sell them for, but it's really the wholesale value to make them whole again. And so that's really what we're looking for. We're looking to insure them to value and to insure them to their full exposure. A lot of folks might want, say, 50,000, but their real true exposure might be say they have 5 vehicles at 20,000 wholesale value apiece. Their real lot exposure is 100,000. So that's really what we're looking to insure them for. That's what the rates are based off, is that we're insuring to value.
A couple of our agents indicated that they regularly get calls from their clients who are saying, and I quote, "I need insurance on my client's dealer tags." What questions do they need to be asking their clients to make sure that they're getting the coverage that they need?
The first question that we ask when there's dealer tags or dealer plates involved, we're really looking to insure them for the intended use. And generally what I look at for intended use is for test drives. Basically, say you have a used car dealer and someone wants to test drive it. And me being the owner or maybe an employee of that used car dealership, I will go along with them. We don't want to have these plates used for personal use or someone that might be using them on their own vehicles. A lot of dealerships, owners might like to slap dealer plates, and I'm going to go down to Florida. So that being said, we really want to find out what they're used for. We want to make sure that the employee to plate ratio makes sense. I want to have a one-man shop or a two-person shop having 10 plates. Because that can lead to a loss, and maybe there's plates being lended out to others. It's really something that our carriers are looking to nail down, and they want to know what the real exposure is.
Something else that came in from one of our agents, and this is directly to us, not a question that their clients necessarily get. This is for us. Why do I have to list my mechanic if you're excluding him as a driver?
There is an exposure. The mechanic is repairing the vehicles, and you might be excluding the mechanic as a driver because maybe they have a suspended license or a poor driving record, and you don't want that person test driving the vehicle, but they're still repairing it. So there still is an operations exposure and a liability exposure with that person. So it's kind of like your typical commercial general liability policy based on payroll. I mean, you've got to cover the payroll. So in most cases with our garage policies, it's rating units. And if that person is a mechanic and not a driver, their rating unit wouldn't be as high as a driver's rating unit, but they still need to be covered on the policy. So we still have to have their information and rate for them accordingly.
Well, Tracy and Rick, I can't thank you enough for participating in Jencap's educational series, Garage Gurus. There were many questions surrounding the difference in coverages, things that agents didn't understand, why they needed to complete. So thank you all so much for lending your expertise to everyone internally at Jencap, to our agency partners, to our clients.
Thanks, Catherine. Thank you for letting us participate. It's been a pleasure, and we're happy to be a part of this and really provide some extra value to our agency partners. Thank you.
And if you are an agent who's listening to this today, be sure to follow along on Jencap's LinkedIn page, and also be sure that you're signed up to receive our weekly emails so that you're getting all of our latest, greatest educational content. So be sure you're following along, because when you win, we win. And we truly value your partnership and look forward to working with you soon.